And guys, in this next news story, you're going to see some footage which shows the moment two men leap into the sea in a failed bid to escape the authorities after being caught with £37 million worth of coke on their boat. Bruce Knowles, who's 55, and Ferhat Gumrukguoglu, who's 31, were intercepted by Border Force near East Benacre Broads in Suffolk with 350 keys of coke in the hull of their boat. Footage has been released by the National Crime Agency, which shows the Dutchman Gumrukguoglu leap from the vessel and swim towards the beach. The pair had initially stopped, then the Border Force cutter moved in, but Knowles restarted the engines to the rigid hulled inflatable boat and tried to escape. The boat was grounded on the beach, and officers also moved in to arrest Knowles, and he also jumped overboard during the incident on the 24th of June. Officers from Norfolk and Suffolk police chased Gumrukguoglu after he fled from the beach, arresting him later that day in Norfolk. The boat was towed to a harbour in Lowestoft, where it was searched by NCA officers who found £39 million worth of narcotics hidden under the tarpaulin. Investigators believe Knowles and Gumrukguoglu travelled towards French waters to pick up the drugs from a larger ship before bringing them back to the UK. Both men were interviewed and gave no comment, but were subsequently charged with importing a controlled drug. They pleaded guilty to the offence at Ipswich Crown Court and are now facing a prison sentence. NCA Branch Commander Lydia Bloomfield said Knowles and Gumrukguoglu knew they were going to lose a huge quantity of drugs when they were intercepted at sea by our Border Force colleagues. Both were working for a wider organised crime group and now feel the effects of the loss of this amount of coke. Border Force Deputy Director Sally Hawkyard said, "Our Border Force officers played a pivotal role in detecting and seizing millions of pounds worth of coke, which ensured that these two men were brought to justice. We remain committed to stopping illegal drugs from entering the country, where they ruin lives and fuel organised crime gangs. Border Force will continue to work tirelessly to keep the public safe and our borders secure." Absolute madness, guys. In this next news story, members of a Manchester-based people smuggling ring have been jailed after they were caught with two migrants crammed into a tiny car boot. Images showed the migrants wedged into the boot as the gang tried to transport them between France and the UK. British woman Rashida Ayub and Afghan nationals Jumagwal Mohammadi and Washaya Sartib have been jailed for more than 10 years combined after a hearing at Crown Court in Manchester. Court heard on the 29th of January 2017, UK Border Force officers conducted a search in France of a Kia Sportage which had been driven by Ayub bound for the UK. During the search, they found two Afghan nationals concealed in the boot. Ayub was arrested at the scene. Investigations at Ayub's vans and mobile phone data led officers to identify Mahmadi and Sartib as further members of the smuggling operation. At trial, the jury found the three guilty of facilitating the commission of a breach of United Kingdom immigration law, and all three remanded until sentencing today. Ayub was sentenced to 4 years, Mohammadi to 3 years and 6 months, and Sartib to 32 months. The sentencing is the latest development in an extensive investigation launched by the Home Office Criminal Financial Investigators into people smuggling routes in the UK. Home Office Criminal Investigation Supervisor Paul Moran said thousands of pounds were exchanged to smuggle these people into the country. With total disregard for their safety and welfare, they're all crammed inside the boots to allow it to close. As with many smuggling operations we encounter, the sole priority of these criminals is financial gain at the expense of those they exploit under false promises. And he said, "I'm delighted our teams have stopped them from succeeding." And in this next news story, a man who was found with more than £10,000 worth of Class A and B drugs in his car has been jailed. Toby Bunting was spotted by neighbourhood support team officers parked up in a lay-by on the A47 near Peterborough on the 1st of June last year. Bunting and the car they were searching after officers thought they could smell some weed. Appearing to be nervous, Bunting admitted there was a bag full of illegal stuff that he was taking back to someone. A bundle of £800 in cash was found on him, and various drugs worth up to £10,000 were found in his possession. Bunting was arrested, and a search of his home in Peterborough was carried out, which uncovered a taser-style gun. In police interview, Bunting claimed he had been at a party the night before his arrest and the host asked him to get rid of the drugs which had been taken there by partygoers. Downloads of his 3 mobile phones show evidence of drug dealing. However, he claimed one of the phones had only recently been given to him and the messages must have been meant for someone else. Bunting appeared at Cambridge Crown Court, where he was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison after admitting 2 counts of possession with intent to supply Class A and Class B drugs, acquiring criminal property with the 800 quid that he had, and possession of a firearm, which was a taser. So you got 2.5 years in total for that. The Constable Lizzie Asplan, who investigated, said this was a great spot by our neighbourhood support team who came across Bunting, parked up in a secluded area. They were in the right place at the right time and have taken more than £10,000 worth of harmful substances off the streets. Bunting initially denied any involvement with dealing. However, the overwhelming evidence against him proved he was lying and ultimately gave him little choice but to plead guilty. And in this next news story, the serial fraudster's ludicrous fake insurance claims are put him behind bars. Using a false name, Joel Mtebi twice claimed he had tripped in a street and his mobile phone had fallen down a drain and that his TV screen had been smashed after a child threw a toy at it. The 2 stories are among 15 fraudulent home insurance claims which he made to an insurance company. It was the second time he'd made a bogus claim to the company. In 2017, he was sentenced after he made another 15 claims on policies underwritten by an insurance company. Now, Mtebi has been jailed for 20 months after committing an identical scam. From March 2019 to February 2022, Mtebi took out 6 further home insurance policies underwritten by an insurance company using fictitious identities and made 15 fake claims against them. 9 of the claims were successful and resulted in receiving payments worth a total of £11,000. However, the insurance company linked Mtebi to 4 of the 6 policies and referred the case to the City of London Police's Insurance Fraud Enforcement Department for investigation. He pleaded guilty at Preston Magistrates Court to 8 counts of fraud by false representation. He was sentenced at Liverpool Crown Court to 20 months imprisonment and must also pay £140 in charges. Detective Constable Dan Weller from the City of London Police's Insurance Fraud Enforcement Department said Mtebi concocted a series of stories which ranged from him falling over and dropping his phone down a drain to a child smashing a toy into his TV screen, all for the purposes of making a quick gain. Claims like these can push up the cost of insurance premiums for everyone else, which means that honest customers end up paying the price for others. Guys, there's a number of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. Once again, if you already haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel and please give this video a little like. Once again, big respect going out to each and every one of you. It's your boy GT. Good luck to keep it